not actually Cameron, right?
Yeah, I'm not actually Cameron, in case you were wondering. Cameron's back there.
He's on the camera.
Yeah, he's on the camera. He didn't want to talk to you guys. All right, my name's Henry. I'm actually from Cincinnati, but I own the Restores in Louisville, Cincinnati, and Dayton. So when Cameron mentioned this opportunity to me, I thought it would be a really great opportunity to come down and kind of talk to you guys a little bit more about what Restore does. So Restore is a medical facility that is geared towards recovery and maximizing the human potential. And we do this through a lot of different ways. I could probably stand up here and talk to you for 2 hours about all the different things we do and how they impact your body. But we're going to keep it shorter than that. We employ nurses, estheticians, hyper-wellness techs, health coaches to really help you maximize both your services at Restore, but also everything that you're doing outside of Restore. Everybody who's going to come up here tonight, you're going to spend maybe hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe max of 10 hours a week in their facility. There's a lot more hours in a week than what you spend in any one of our facilities, and it's really important that you kind of combine everything to maximize everything that you do outside. So that is really where Restore comes in. The first main thing that we do is red light therapy. So we have a variety of core services, but red light therapy is really the driver of recovery. So essentially what this does is this is going to stimulate the body to regulate the balance between progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. So Game Day already talked about testosterone a little bit. These are going to be the three big hormones. Males and females have all three of these hormones. And if you are dominant with any one of these three, it's going to impact the production of the other two and prevent you from optimizing your health. So red light essentially opens up the blood vessels and allows blood flow into all areas of the body, especially those areas of the body that don't typically get strong blood flow. So your muscles typically get really strong blood flow, so your muscles recover faster. That's why your muscles are able to build tissue faster than every other area of the body. What typically is hard to heal are your joints or certain areas of the brain that only get blood flow through small little capillaries. Red light therapy is going to open up the blood flow to those areas of the body and allow those areas to heal much, much faster, and also optimize the body's natural processes. It also improves sleep by regulating melatonin production. Optimal sleep is critical in basically every process in the body. I'm not remembering the study off the top of my head, but there is a study that essentially links a really high percentage of hormone deficiency to sleep problems. So for example, first responders or nurses or medical professionals often struggle with hormone production because they are working night shift, and they're working odd hours and they're sleeping at odd hours of the day and their circadian rhythm is thrown off. So if you're someone who has poor sleep, red light therapy is I did one red light therapy session and slept an extra 2 hours that night. It works very, very quickly. It also helps immune response and supports blood sugar regulation, which will improve mood, satiety, and body composition. So red light therapy is a really kind of holistic way. You get in those panels for 10 minutes, and it's a really holistic way to kind of help your body regulate all its natural processes and optimize everything within that. Cryotherapy. Who's heard of cryotherapy? A lot of people. Who's heard of cold plunges? About the same amount. Okay. Cryotherapy is a dry cold plunge. So we use liquid nitrogen to cool the air. It's about negative 200 degrees in the chamber, so it's very, very cold. You only get in there for 2 to 3 minutes, but this is going to send your body into a form of fight or flight. So all the blood basically gets pulled into your vital organs. All of the blood is trying to protect the most important parts of your body, so your organs and your brain. When all the blood gets to the organs, it becomes much more oxygenated, much more nutrient dense, and then when you leave that chamber, your body essentially changes course and rushes to protect the limb. So when it pulls all the blood out, it rushes to push it back into the hands, the legs, the toes, so you have a higher volume of more nutrient-dense blood that is going to heal the body at a faster rate. So this has a really profound effect on recovery, muscle recovery, reducing the time between workouts, things of that nature. It also, fight or flight, will stimulate endorphin production. So often, about 5-10 minutes after a cryo session, you'll notice essentially like a little head rush, and you will have a lot of energy for about the next few hours. If you regularly do cryotherapy, like 4 or 5 times a week, you'll notice that that head rush starts to become almost more permanent, and you have more energy day to day. All right, we're gonna get more into some of the medical stuff. So we do IV drip therapy and intermuscular shot therapy. We have, I believe, 26 different nutrients that we can add either in an IM shot or in a IV drip. And all of our drips are fully customizable, so we do not do any pre-mixed bags or anything like that. Our big focus is dialing in on which nutrients your body needs. Sometimes that's through a little bit of trial and error and seeing what your body responds to. Sometimes that's through some micronutrient testing and seeing what you're actually deficient in. We're gonna go through some of the major micronutrients that we offer and kind of what benefits we see most often with those. So L-carnitine is probably an all-time favorite. L-carnitine helps move fatty acids into the cell to be used as energy. So essentially, you get to use your fat as energy. Who doesn't want to do that? This can cause both a reduction in body fat percentage and improved cognitive performance. Second one is going to be lipo. This is an injection only. It is not the equivalent of a GLP-1, but it does improve blood sugar regulation, which can be a huge weight loss hurdle in specifically women who have PCOS or a postpartum or live a sedentary, high-stress life cycle. So basically all of us. Third one is magnesium. Magnesium is imperative in almost every process in the body, and due to poor soil quality, our diet is much lower in all minerals than it used to be. So low magnesium is almost chronic for everybody. I believe the number is between 60 and 70% of all the United States is deficient in magnesium. Low magnesium can lead to migraines, poor sleep, increased anxiety, and poor hormone regulation. So you can see a lot of positive benefits just from adding magnesium to your drips. Next one is zinc. Zinc is critical in hormone production. So zinc is going to be used both for hormone production for men and women, but specifically deficiencies can lead to low testosterone levels. So if you're someone who is using testosterone therapy, adding zinc can actually help you maximize the dosage so that you can essentially remain on a lower dose of TRT for longer, which will hopefully make it a little bit more sustainable for you long term. Finally, we have CoQ10. CoQ10 improved the quality of egg production. A strong and healthy menstrual cycle is a really good indicator of good health when you're in a childbearing age. It also improves sperm quality in men and can protect the heart from the potential negative side effects of TRT, especially when you're used at higher dosages, when you're getting up to really, really high levels of TRT. We do also offer a weight management program at Restore. It includes semaglutide or tirzepatide, depending on which track you go. We typically try and guide people through using some of the more holistic therapies first before we add the GLP-1s. GLP-1s are a really, really good tool to kind of help your body learn new lifestyle habits. But that's really what our goal is, for you to be on those for as short a time as possible. So we use a body scanner, we use nurse practitioners, we use our nursing team, and we use health coaches to essentially try and help you keep that dose as low as possible. And then as we ramp you down, kind of coach you through some of the lifestyle habit changes that you learn while you're on your GLP-1 so that you don't have to remain on it for a super long period of time, and that when you come off of it, it is a much more sustainable change that you experience. All right, last big one is NAD. NAD is my favorite service that we offer. I started NAD 3 years ago, and it totally kind of changed my day-to-day life. I personally cut my caffeine consumption down by about 2/3. So NAD is phenomenal. So NAD is an organic molecule found in all living cells. It is involved in the creation of ATP energy within our mitochondria. NAD is also an essential longevity molecule in preserving the integrity of our DNA by activating proteins called sirtuins. Science tells us that the mitochondria degrade with aging. Essentially, you're born with a certain amount of NAD. When you're born, you have the most NAD that you will ever have. Over time, your body both creates NAD and destroys NAD. As you age, you start destroying NAD at a faster rate than your body can recreate it. That is where you essentially either supplement it or you continue to age faster. The depletion of NAD within the cell is going to be the cause of mental and physical aging. So something really weird that I noticed is like I was going gray very, very early, and I decreased that a lot when I started taking NAD. So there's a lot of ways that you can raise NAD, and you'll hear a lot of different modes of adding it. You can do a shot, you can do IV, there's going to be oral supplements that you hear, there's going to be precursors that you can hear. The most effective way to raise NAD levels in the body is going to be by either injecting it or putting it in IV. Those are going to be the most absorbable ways that you can get NAD. The big benefits of NAD that we see are going to be improved insulin sensitivity, improved focus and energy, improved athletic performance, improved symptom management for chronic illnesses, prevention of chronic illness, specifically conditions such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. There's some preliminary data that's potentially they're going to be trying to use NAD as a treatment for Alzheimer's. Again, that's very preliminary, but a lot of interesting data there. We offer NAD in 4-day loading doses. So if you're wanting to kind of really jumpstart your NAD levels, a lot of people will, if you're coming to us and you're in your 30s, 40s, a lot of times your NAD levels are already pretty depleted. So we like to jumpstart people by doing a loading dose where we do a certain amount over 4 days, and then we start to kind of maintain that. That way we can get you the most benefit early on. And then we can do single IVs, or we can do IM shots. IM shots are really popular because you essentially come in once a week and you get a quick injection, and you're there for 5 minutes. Honestly, the easiest way to kind of determine what you want to do is to come in and have a consultation with one of our nurses or one of our other staff. Our staff are incredibly knowledgeable. There's a lot of information out there. And it's really, really important to kind of sit down and go through what your lifestyle is. So it's really important to us that we go through what your life looks like versus just having one quick solve for everybody. So our focus is really on you, the individual, and what we can do for each individual person to help you. Any questions? Yes?
Can you talk a little bit more about the NAD in that, like how long, like when you start taking the shot, is it for the rest of your life, or, and what's the shelf life of a shot? Like, do you get the NAD to increase and then it's there for a set period of time? How is that?
So there's not a super easy answer to that one because it really does depend on the person. People create and destroy NAD at different rates. What I typically see with a shot is you're going to feel really, really noticeable effects for about 5 days, but it doesn't truly wear off for about 2 weeks. IVs, I can tell you, so I can speak from personal experience with the IVs because I primarily do the IVs. I will say that most of my employees notice that when my NAD goes down because I get cranky, and that happens in about 6 weeks. So, yes.
Can you give us an approximate cost for the NAD therapy, and is there any bad side effects to it?
So the approximate cost, so Restore is a membership-based business, so membership greatly decreases the cost of the NAD. I believe a single NAD shot is in the range of $120, and then a loading dose of IVs is going to be 2,000 milligrams, and that is going to be in the range of about $1,800 to $2,200, depending on whether you're a member or a non-member. I'm sorry, I think there was a second question in there. Side effects. So when you get the shots, you're not going to feel pretty much anything. Depending on how depleted you are in NAD, the drips can be a bit uncomfortable during the IV. There's no side effects after the IV. The best way that I can describe it, and everyone describes it in a slightly different way, when I get a drip, when I first got a drip, I felt like someone took a big sandbag and just put it on my chest. So it is uncomfortable during the drip, but then it's like the second the NAD stops going through the line, it stops. And essentially what that feeling is your body is getting overloaded with NAD in the bloodstream, and so it's rapidly discarding damaged mitochondria, which doesn't feel very good. But after the IV, there's no side effects. Any other questions?
So is there any other way to get NAD besides through a shot or like through an alternative like holistic supplement?
So there are various precursors that you can look at getting. The data is pretty sketchy on that. So there is some data that shows specifically, I believe Niagen is probably the best precursor that you can get from an oral standpoint. I don't have personal experience with Niagen, so I don't want to say one way or the other, whether that's a good option or an okay option. I would say if you're trying to budget for NAD in the most reasonable way, I would start with shots and do shots because shots are going to be the cheaper alternative. And then if you further on down the line, you're like, I feel a difference from this, but I want to really get that jump start with the loading dose, then do that at a later date. Yes, sir.
A membership, what's it cost to join, and what benefits does it cost? What benefits do you receive from joining? Like, is there anything you get every month, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So our standard membership is $185 a month, and you get 8 credits with that membership. Now, we have a lot of services, so I touch base on the bigger ones. Those 8 credits can be used towards red light, cryo, sauna, compression. You can also use them towards IVs as well. The big thing that you get in addition to what those credits give you is you also get a membership discount on everything else. So, for example, I believe the member price for an NAD shot is $125. The non-member price for an NAD shot, I believe, is $180.
And just everything like 1 credit or something's like 3 credits?
IVs are 4 credits. Red light, cryo, all that stuff is 1 credit. Absolutely. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk to you, and I hope to see you guys in our studio.